Former FBI agent Theodore Ted Otto was with the FBI for 34 years, 25 of which was working organized crime. The mandatory retirement age for an agent is 57 years old. However, an agent can make a request to work past that age by declaring that they're in the middle of a big case, which Otto did. According to him, he would have stayed in the FBI forever and worked for free. Definitely a person struggling with feelings of unimportance as well as the loss of authority. His first taste of investigating organized crime was during the early 90s, where he worked on a case involving a group of young guys from the Bronx who were carrying out reckless acts. They did so, according to Otto, to impress Vinny Basciano, who at the time wasn't yet a Bonanno member. In 1998, Otto worked on an organized crime squad involving Gambino, Colombo, and Lucchese cases. That squad was disbanded in 2001 when he was transferred to a Gambino squad. He worked on that squad for over a decade and spent the remainder of his time at the FBI on the Lucchese C-17 squad, which worked closely with agents working the Gambino family. According to former agent Otto, the FBI's goal is to work impactful cases. For example, the higher up the food chain, the more impactful the cases became. Or as he put it, they'd work cases that hit the mob as hard as they could. What I found laughable is a statement he made regarding the most important resource was their investigative experience, which is total bullshit because without cooperators or their confidential informants and sources, the agents are clueless. Another comical comment was that the FBI are victim-orientated. In his opinion, the American Mafia was at the peak of their power prior to the commission indictments in November 1985. And since the commission convictions, he stated, the Mafia is on a steady downward trajectory, and he added that the level of hypocrisy is laughable and led them to where they are presently. He believes that eventually the Mafia will no longer exist. Otto brought up the Mafia cops, Louis Eppolito and Stephen Caracappa, who were involved in the October 1986 abduction of Gambino associate Jimmy Heidel, when they delivered Heidel to Gaspipe, who killed him in a brutal way. Heidel's brother Frank, following his brother's murder, also became an associate. And according to Otto, Frank Heidel began cooperating at the first sign of trouble and was an FBI source for a few years, until he was exposed and shot and killed outside a Staten Island strip club on April 28, 1998. While mentioning the Colombo family, Otto stated that that family has been prosecuted to oblivion and how they install a new acting boss every 6 months, and a week after their name surfaces, someone's locking them up. He mentioned that the Bonanno family were left for dead by the early 1990s and admitted that the FBI mistakenly took their eyes off of them and that Joe Messino was able to make the family come back with a vengeance. But following Messino's conviction and ultimate betrayal of his former family, which included the conviction of Vinnie Gorgeous, the Bonannos are now in total disarray. He also stated that the Lucchese and Genovese families was always more accomplished at construction rackets due to their connections, key developers, and big-name contractors at their disposal. He also hinted about the last case he was working on with the enthusiasm of a kid opening up Christmas gifts. The case is still ongoing, and according to former agent Otto, it was the most interesting case he ever worked, but stressed that he couldn't expand further as to what the case was about, but did divulge that it was global in scope. Nevertheless, former agent Otto did bring up in conversation with me what that case was about. The ongoing case is focused on Group America and the Gambino and Lucchese families, and involves international drug trafficking on a mammoth scale, among a laundry list of other crimes. Stay tuned.